Jake Monroe stood in the dark corridor of Galactic Station 7. The screams from the arena filled the air. He was supposed to bring the new fighters to the holding cells, but something made him stop and watch through the observation window. The arena was huge and filled with dirt and blood. Thousands of aliens packed the seats. They wanted to see death. They wanted to see pain. The arena was the most brutal place in the galaxy. Jake had worked here for 3 years, and he hated every single day. A massive beast came out from the gate. It had 4 arms and teeth like daggers. The crowd roared with excitement. The beast had won 92 fights in a row. Everyone said nothing could kill it. Then she came out. The warrior woman wore heavy armor made of dark metal. She moved with control and purpose. Her alien skin was blue, and her eyes were hard as steel. Jake could not see her face clearly, but something about her caught his attention. She looked different from other warriors that fought here. The beast charged at her with a terrible scream. The crowd went wild. The woman moved to the side with speed Jake did not think was possible. Her sword flashed in the light. The beast stumbled but kept coming. For 30 minutes they fought. The beast was stronger, but the woman was faster and smarter. She studied the beast's movements. She learned its patterns. Jake watched as she used the arena ground to her advantage. She made the beast tire. She made it angry and slow. Then it happened. The woman saw her chance. She jumped high in the air and brought her sword down hard. The beast fell to the ground. It was over. The crowd did not cheer. They wanted more blood. They wanted her to finish the beast. But the woman just stood there, breathing hard, not moving. The crowd began to scream for her death. That was the arena rule. If you won, they decided if you lived. The crowd could kill you at any time. The woman looked up at the sky, and Jake saw her face for the first time. She looked tired. She looked sad. The signal came down from the judge. Thumbs down, death. Jake did not think. He did not plan. He just moved. He ran down the corridor and pushed open the back door to the arena floor. He was not supposed to do this. He could be killed for this, but he kept running. The guards at the gate did not expect anyone to come from inside. Jake ran straight at the woman. He grabbed her arm and pulled her toward the back entrance. For 1 second she was confused, then she understood. She ran with him. The arena guards started to chase. Alarms began to ring all through the station. Red lights flashed in every corridor. Jake knew he had only minutes to get away. He knew the station better than anyone. He had worked in every part of it. He knew the old tunnels that nobody used anymore. He knew the spaces between the walls. He pulled the woman into a maintenance shaft that was hidden behind a loose panel. They ran through darkness. Jake used his light to guide them. Behind them he could hear boots on metal. Voices shouted orders. The guards were following, but they did not know the station like he did. Jake turned left, then right, then down a narrow ladder. The woman followed him without question. She was fast and strong. She did not slow him down. After 10 minutes, the sounds of the guards grew quiet. They had lost the trail. Jake stopped in a small maintenance room and closed the door behind them. He locked it with a manual lock that only he knew about. The woman bent over, breathing hard. Jake could see her hands shake. She looked at him with eyes full of questions. "Why?" she asked in broken English. Her voice was rough like metal scraping metal. Jake did not know how to answer. He had just thrown away his life for a stranger. He had helped her escape from the most powerful arena in the galaxy. The guards would hunt them both. They would want them dead. "I do not know," Jake said. It was the truth. The woman stood up straight. She was very tall, maybe 2 meters. Her armor was indented from the fight. Her sword was still in her hand. She could kill him right now, and nobody would ever know. Instead, she nodded at him. "Thank you," she said. "You are brave or stupid, maybe both." Jake let out a small laugh. His heart was still beating very fast. His hands were shaking too now. "We need to move," he said. "They will search everywhere." "Where can we go?" the woman asked. Jake thought about this. The station had many places. There were cargo bays that were old and not used anymore. There were spaces in the walls where air systems ran. There were tunnels that connected the lower sections. "I know a place," he said. "Follow me." They moved through the maintenance tunnels for another hour. The woman never asked questions. She just followed. Jake could hear her breathing, strong and steady. She was not tired. She was not afraid. She was just ready. Finally, they came to an old cargo bay on the lowest level of the station. Nobody came here anymore. The cargo bay was full of empty containers and broken equipment. Jake opened a small door and led her inside. The space was dark and cold. Dust covered everything. "We can hide here for now," Jake said. "They will search the upper levels first. We have time to plan what comes next." The woman removed her helmet for the first time. Her face was smooth and intelligent. Her eyes were blue like Earth oceans. She was beautiful in an alien way, but more than that, she looked sad. She looked like someone who had lost everything. "What is your name?" she asked. "Jake Monroe," he said. 3 days had passed in the old cargo bay. Jake had brought food and water. He had brought clean clothes from the worker supply sections, had told him many things about herself, but not everything. There were gaps in her story. There were things she did not want to talk about. Jake sat on a container and watched her clean her sword. She used a cloth and a special oil that she had mixed from supplies she found. Her movements were careful and precise. Everything she did had purpose. "How long have you been in the arena?" Jake asked. Did not look up from her sword. 2 years, she said, since they captured me. "Why did they capture you?" Jake asked. "Because I was dangerous to them," said. She finally looked at him. "Because I would not obey." Jake wanted to ask more questions, but something in her eyes told him to stop. She did not want to talk about her past yet. Maybe later she would tell him, maybe not. "We cannot stay here," said. "Soon they will search this section. We need to leave the station." "How?" Jake asked. "Every ship that leaves is checked. Every person is checked. They have your picture. They know you are alive. They will be looking for you." "There are ways," said, "if you know where to look." Jake thought about this. The station was huge. Ships came and went every day. Most of them were commercial vessels. Most of them were not heavily guarded, but security was tight everywhere. The council made sure of that. "I know the dock schedule," Jake said. "I can get access to the records. There is a repair ship leaving tomorrow. It goes to the outer stations. It is not searched very carefully. The crew is small." Nodded. "Can you get us on that ship?" "Maybe," Jake said. "I have access to the worker database. I can create false identities. I have done it before for people who wanted to leave and could not." "You have helped others escape?" asked. "A few," Jake said. "People who were trapped here like we are." Looked at him with new respect. "You are not just brave then, you are experienced." Jake felt his face warm. He did not think of himself as brave. He just did what needed to be done. "I will need to go to the records section," Jake said. "It is dangerous, but I can do it." "I will come with you," said. "No," Jake said quickly. "Too dangerous, your face is known, too many people saw you fight. You need to stay hidden. I can do this alone." Was about to argue, but then she stopped. She recognized the truth in his words. "Okay," she said, "but if you are not back in 4 hours, I will come after you." Jake smiled. "You would destroy the whole station looking for me." "Yes," said, and she was not joking. Jake left the cargo bay and moved through the maintenance tunnels. The records section was on the 3rd level. It was guarded, but Jake knew when the guard changed shift. It was a 2-minute window. He had used it before. He made it through the guard station without being seen. The records room was empty. Jake sat at a terminal and began to work. His fingers moved fast. He created 2 new identities. He put them on the repair ship manifest. He made them look real. He made them look like they belonged. It took 30 minutes. Just as he was finishing, he heard voices outside the door. Jake quickly deleted his trail. He removed the flash drive that held the new identities. He stood up and turned to leave. The door opened. A security officer stood there. He was tall and had a scar across his face. "What are you doing here?" the officer asked. Jake's heart was beating very fast. "I was assigned to check the ship manifests," he said calmly. "Routine maintenance." The officer looked at him carefully. Jake felt like the officer could see through his lie. Then the officer nodded. "Fine, get out then. This section is closed to workers after midnight." Jake walked out past him. He kept his pace steady. He did not run. Once he was far enough away, he let himself breathe. He made it back to the cargo bay in less than 2 hours. Was waiting for him. She stood in the darkness like a statue. When she saw him, something in her face changed. "You are safe," she said. It was not a question. "I have the identities," Jake said, holding up the flash drive. "We can board the repair ship tomorrow at dawn." Took the flash drive and held it in her hand. "You risked your life for me again," she said. "I risked my life," Jake corrected. "Because I believe in what you represent. Because I believe that what the council is doing here is wrong, because I am tired of seeing good people trapped and broken. You do not even know me, said. I know enough, Jake said. I know you fought in that arena for 2 years. I know you never killed an opponent after you had won. I watched you. Every time you won, you refused to kill. The crowd screamed for death, but you would not give it to them. Looked away. That was my mistake. It made them angry. No, Jake said. It made you special. It showed that you are different, that you are strong enough to show mercy even when the whole world wants you to show violence. Sat down on the metal container. Her shoulders dropped. She looked very tired. I came to this station on a mission, she said finally. My people, my world, we are at war with the council. They wanted to control us. I was leading the resistance. I was trying to stop them. I was captured before I could get away. They used me to break my people's will to fight. They wanted my people to see that even their strongest warrior could be broken in the arena. But you were not broken, Jake said. No, said, but my people did not know that. They thought I was dead. They thought I had fallen. Jake understood now. This woman was not just a warrior. She was a symbol. She was a leader. And somewhere her people were suffering because they thought she was gone. We will get you back to your people, Jake said. The repair ship will take us to the outer stations. From there, we can find a way to your world. Looked at him. You would do this. You would leave everything. Jake looked around the cargo bay. This was his life. This station. This job, these tunnels and empty spaces. This was his prison. I have nothing here, he said. And I want something more. I want to matter. I want to help. I want to fight for something real. Stood up, she put her hand on his shoulder. It was a strong hand, and it was gentle at the same time. Then we will fight together, she said. You and me, Jake Monroe. The next morning, they boarded the repair ship using their false identities. No one questioned them. No one looked closely at their faces. They were just 2 more workers in a system that did not care who they were. As the ship left the dock and began to move away from Galactic Station 7, Jake watched the station shrink in the distance. He did not know what came next. He did not know if they would survive, but he knew that his life had changed forever. Stood beside him, watching her prison fade away. Thank you, Jake, she said quietly. The repair ship moved through space for 6 days. Jake and stayed in their small quarters. They did not speak to the crew. They did not leave the room unless they had to, was watching and waiting. She was planning something, but she would not tell Jake what. On the 7th day, began to tell him more about her past. They sat on the narrow bunk in their shared quarters. The engines hummed around them. Jake listened as spoke about her world and her people. My world is called Prime, she said. It is far from here beyond the outer rim. It is very harsh. The gravity is heavy. The weather is brutal. The land wants to kill you every single day. Jake listened carefully. He was starting to understand that past was different from what most people thought. We are called the, continued. But we were not always called that. We were called something else a very long time ago. What were you called? Jake asked. We were called human, said. Jake felt his body go cold. What do you mean human? My ancestors came from Earth, said. They were colonists sent to Prime hundreds of years ago. They were supposed to build a settlement and wait for help, but help never came. Jake did not understand. People were aliens. They did not look human. They were blue and tall, and their eyes were different. How is that possible? Jake asked. The gravity on Prime is almost twice as heavy as Earth, explained. The air is different. The sun is different. Our colonists had to adapt. They used genetic modification to make their children stronger. They made them taller and different so they could survive. Each generation changed more. After hundreds of years, we became what you see now. Jake's mind was trying to understand this. So you are human, but you do not look human. I am human, said, but I am both. My DNA is human, my blood is human, but my body has been changed by the needs of my world. Why did you not tell me this before? Jake asked. Because I was not sure I could trust you, said. Because it is dangerous for this knowledge to be known. Because the council does not want anyone to know that they are human. It would change everything. Jake stood up and moved to the window. Space was black and empty outside. He thought about everything he believed. He thought about the aliens he had seen his whole life. He thought about the wars between humans and the alien races. If the council knew this, what would they do? Jake asked. They would destroy my people, said. They are a threat to them. We are strong. We are intelligent. We want freedom. If the Council understood that we are human, that we are their cousins, that we have the same rights and the same value, many humans would refuse to fight us. Many would stand beside us instead. Jake turned back to her. But you are here to tell them this. You are here to make them understand. Yes, said. I was leading my people's fight against the Council. I came to this region of space to make contact with human colonies that might help us, to tell them the truth about who we are, to ask them to stand with us. What happened? Jake asked. The Council caught me before I could complete my mission, said. They put me in the arena to break me, to show my people that even I was not strong enough to fight the Council's power. Jake sat back down. He understood now why it had been so important. She was not just a warrior, she was an ambassador. She was a symbol of hope for her entire people. I will help you finish your mission, Jake said. I will help you reach the colonies. I will help you tell them the truth. Looked at him with something like relief. You believe me. I believe you, Jake said. I do not know why, but I do. Moved her hand to her armor. She removed a small panel from her chest piece. Inside the panel was a symbol. It was made of metal and very old. Jake recognized it immediately. It was the seal of Earth Command. He had seen it in old Earth history videos. This is my proof, said. This is my rank insignia. I am a commander in the Defense Force. But I was also trained by the last human colony in this sector before it was destroyed by Council forces. This insignia proves that I am human. It proves my right to speak for all humans, not just the... Jake stared at the insignia. His hands were shaking. This is real, he whispered. This is all real. Yes, said. And now you are part of something much bigger than either of us, Jake Monroe. You are part of a war that will reshape the entire galaxy. The ship's alarm suddenly began to sound. Red lights flashed in the corridor. Jumped to her feet. Jake did the same. They could hear running footsteps. They could hear shouting from the crew. Looked out the window. Her face went hard and cold. Council ships, she said. They have found us. Jake's heart began to beat very fast. He had known this day might come. He had known that running would not be enough, but he had not expected it to happen so soon. What do we do? Jake asked. The repair ship was falling apart around them. Explosions ripped through the corridors. The crew was trying to escape, moved through the burning passages like she was born for this. She fought with skill and power. Jake followed her even though he had no weapon, even though he was useless in a real battle. They made it to the cargo hold. The ship was tilting badly. Everything loose was sliding across the floor. Grabbed a cable and held herself steady. She looked at Jake. There is a small escape pod in this section, she said. We need to reach it before the ship breaks apart. What about the crew? Jake asked. The crew is already gone, said. They are in their own pods. We are on our own. They moved toward the back of the cargo hold. Behind them, the sound of metal tearing filled the air. The ship was dying. They could feel it in every vibration that shook the floor beneath their feet. Then they saw it, a small, bright yellow escape pod attached to the wall. It looked old and small. It looked like their only chance. Pulled the door open. She pushed Jake inside first. Then she turned to get in herself. But a massive piece of the ship's hull fell from above. It crashed down between them. Go, shouted. Close the door. No, Jake screamed. Get in. I am staying, yelled. I have to stay. My ship is here. My people are coming. I sent them a signal before we left the station. Jake did not understand, but there was no time for questions. The pod's entrance was beginning to close. An automatic system was activating. Jake could see on the other side of the metal barrier. Listen to me, called out. There is a colony on 7. Find the leader. Her name is Lieutenant. Tell her that Commander of Prime sent you. Tell her everything I have told you. Make her believe you. Jake reached out, but the pod door slammed shut. He could feel the pod moving. It was detaching from the ship. He could feel the small engines firing. Jake's face pressed against the small window. He watched as the repair ship exploded behind them. He watched as fragments of metal flew into space. He watched as everything fell apart. But then something impossible happened. Another ship appeared. It was not a council ship. It was massive and black and powerful. It was nothing Jake had ever seen before. The ship had symbols on it. It had the seal of Prime. The ship moved toward the wreckage. It was searching. It was looking for survivors. Then a beam of light shot out from the council ships. It hit the vessel. Nothing happened. The beam did not damage it. The ship simply moved faster. Jake watched as the ship gathered the escape pods. He watched as ship fought against the Council vessels. And even though the ship was only one against 3 Council ships it won, it was faster, it was smarter, it was more powerful. The escape pod carried Jake toward the ship. He could see docking bays opening. He could see crew members in armor. They were waiting for him. The pod crashed into the docking bay. Jake was thrown around inside, but the shock absorbers saved his life. He was hurt, but he was alive. The door opened. A tall warrior reached in and pulled Jake out. She was strong and careful. She set him down on the metal floor. "I am Captain," they said. "You are with Commander." "Yes," Jake said, coughing. "We were on the repair ship, but she stayed behind to send you a signal. She told me to tell you that she is coming." Captain looked away. She made a signal to other warriors. They moved quickly with purpose and urgency. Then the sensor operator called out. "Commander is signaling from the station sector. She has taken over a Council transport vessel. She is coming to us." Relief flooded Captain's face. Minutes later, ship docked with the vessel. She walked out of the docking airlock like she had never been gone. She was covered in smoke and blood, but she was alive. She was strong. She was victorious. She saw Jake, and for just a moment her hard expression softened. "You survived," she said. "You said I had to," Jake said. "You said I had to tell them the truth." Turn to Captain. "We need to go to 7 immediately. The Council knows we are here. They will send more ships. We have only a short time to reach the human colonies before they block our path." "Yes, Commander," said. "The engines are ready. We can jump to faster space in 10 minutes." The ship moved into position. Jake felt the vibration as the engines powered up. Space around them began to bend and twist. Colors that he had never seen before flashed across the stars. They were making the jump to faster space. They were crossing distances that should have taken years in days. They were flying toward the human colonies. Brought Jake to her quarters. It was a large room with a view of space. She pulled off her armor piece by piece. She was exhausted. She was hurt. But her eyes were alive with purpose. "On Prime we have a legend," said. "It says that when humans fight together, nothing can stop them. We have weapons and strength. Humans have something else. You have heart. You have the ability to see what is right and do it, even when it costs you everything." "Why are you telling me this?" Jake asked. "Because you are about to meet with the leaders of the human colonies," said. "And they will not believe me. They will not believe that I am human. They will not believe that they are their cousins, but they might believe you. You are human. You came with me. You fought for me. You chose to stand beside me even though you knew nothing of my mission or my people." Jake understood what was asking. She was asking him to be her voice. She was asking him to make humanity listen. "I will tell them the truth," Jake said. "I will make them understand." Nodded, she looked out at the stars as they flew through space toward their future. "My people have been fighting alone for too long," she said. "We were abandoned on a harsh world hundreds of years ago. We adapted. We survived. We became strong, but we never forgot that we were human. We never forgot that we came from Earth." She turned to look at Jake. "The Council feared us because we are powerful, but they should fear us most because we remember our humanity. We remember that we are supposed to protect each other. We are supposed to defend those who are weak. We are supposed to stand for what is right." "And what is right?" Jake asked. "Freedom," said. "For all beings, for all worlds, for everyone who suffers under the Council's rule." The ship flew on, carrying them toward a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy. Had been lost, and Jake had found her. But now they both understood that what they had really found was something much greater than either of them. They had found the truth that humanity and were one people, and together they would stand against the darkness. 7 was a human colony built inside a massive asteroid. It had been a secret for 100 years. The Council did not know it existed. 10,000 humans lived here, working to survive and protect their freedom. They farmed food in hydroponic gardens. They mined rare minerals. They built ships that could not be traced by Council sensors. When ship appeared, the colony's defenses activated immediately. Weapons systems came online. Shields were raised. The humans were ready to fight. They did not trust aliens. They did not trust anyone from outside their world. But sent a message. She used the old Earth command codes, codes that had not been used in over 200 years. Lieutenant received the signal. She was the commander of 7. She was a small woman with hair and intelligent eyes. She had heard stories of the old codes, but she had never thought she would hear them in her lifetime. She ordered the shields to be lowered. Came to the meeting room with Jake beside her. The humans stared at her. They saw her blue skin. They saw her height. They saw an alien, not a human. "I am Commander of Prime," she said. "I was born human. My blood is human. My mind is human, but my body has been changed by the world where my ancestors were left to die." Lieutenant stepped forward. "Prove it." Removed the insignia from her armor. She held it out, took it with trembling hands. "This is real," whispered. "How is this possible?" "My ancestors were colonists sent from Earth," explained. She told them everything. She told them about the modification. She told them about the harsh world. She told them about the hundreds of years of struggle and adaptation. She told them about the Council trying to destroy her people. The humans listened. Some believed, some did not. It was Jake who made the difference. He stepped forward and told his story. He told them about seeing fight in the arena. He told them about her refusal to kill when the crowd demanded death. He told them about her commitment to peace even in the face of violence. He told them about her dream of unity between all humans, whether they looked like humans or not. "Commander saved my life," Jake said. "And in saving my life, she gave me purpose. I am asking you to see past how she looks. I am asking you to listen to what she says. I am asking you to stand with her people in their fight for freedom." Studied Jake's face. She saw truth there. She saw conviction. "If what you say is true," said, "then we have a responsibility. We have a duty to stand with our cousins. We have a duty to fight against the Council." "I will not ask you to fight," said. "I will ask you to stand witness. I will ask you to tell the galaxy the truth about who they are. I will ask you to support any human world that wants to join us in this fight." Made her decision. "We will help you," she said. "Not as soldiers, but as humans helping humans. We will send ships and supplies. We will send people who want to fight beside you." Over the next days, 7 became a base of operations for the resistance against the Council. Ships arrived from other hidden human colonies. The news spread through the galaxy that they were human. The news spread that the Council had been lying about the nature of the aliens they fought. Some humans rejected this truth. Some wanted nothing to do with but many believed. Many wanted to stand beside her people. On the day that prepared to leave 7 and return to Prime with a fleet of human ships, she called Jake to her quarters. "You have done what I asked," said. "You have made them understand. You have changed the course of the galaxy." "What happens now?" Jake asked. "Now we go to war," said. "We fight for freedom. We fight for every world that the Council has oppressed. We fight for the truth." "I want to go with you," Jake said. Smiled. It was a sad smile. It was a smile that knew what war meant. It was a smile that knew the cost of freedom. "I will not stop you," she said. "But you should know what you are choosing. You are choosing violence. You are choosing to leave behind everything you know. You are choosing to stand against one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy." "I already made that choice," Jake said. "When I first helped you escape the arena, everything since then has been leading here." Moved closer to him, she put her hand on his shoulder. "You are more human than many humans I have known," she said. "You see beyond appearance. You see beyond fear. You see the truth in people. That is the greatest gift a human can have." "What will happen to me?" Jake asked. "You will be a bridge between our peoples," said. "You will help the humans and they understand each other. You will help them work together. You will show them that evolution does not erase what we are. Whether we live on Earth or Prime, whether we look human or different, we are all part of one people." Jake felt tears in his eyes. He had not felt this sense of purpose since he was a child. He had never believed he could matter. He had never believed he could change anything. But herewith, he felt like he could do anything. The fleet left 7 together, human ships and ships flying as one. They would go to battle against the Council. They would fight for freedom. They would fight for truth. But before they left, gave a gift. It was a flag from the original Earth colony. It was old and fragile, but it had been preserved for centuries. It showed the symbol of humanity and the hope of those who left Earth so long ago. Took the flag, she held it like it was holy. "This will fly above Prime," she said. "When we win, when we are free, this will fly to show that we remember where we came from. This will fly to show that we are one people." As the ships jumped into faster space, Jake stood on the bridge of his vessel. He watched the stars. He thought about all the things that had brought him to this moment. The arena, the escape, the revelation, the choice. He had chosen to stand beside someone who seemed like an alien. But in doing so, he had found the deepest truth of all, that humanity is not about what you look like or where you come from. Humanity is about what you choose to do. It is about standing for what is right even when it costs you everything. It is about choosing to help others even when nobody is watching. It is about believing that freedom matters more than safety. Came to stand beside him. She did not say anything. She just stood with him and watched the universe move around them. "Thank you," Jake said quietly. "For what?" asked. "For giving me a reason to matter," Jake said. "For showing me that I could be more than I thought I was." Smiled. It was a real smile this time. It was a smile that carried hope. "You were always more than you thought," she said. "You just needed to find someone worth standing beside. You just needed to find a cause worth fighting for." "And did I find that?" Jake asked. "Yes," said. "You found freedom. You found truth. You found the knowledge that humans everywhere, no matter how they look or where they live, are stronger together than they ever are apart." The ship flew on, carrying them toward the future. They did not know if they would win. They did not know if the council could be defeated. But they knew that they had to try. They knew that freedom was worth fighting for. They knew that humanity, in all its forms, deserved to be free. Behind them, the human colonies began to wake up. They began to remember their promise to the stars. They began to stand up against the darkness. And far away on Prime, people were preparing to fight. They were preparing to show the galaxy what free humans could do. The war was just beginning, but hope had been ignited, and that hope would light the way through the darkness. "We fight," said. She took off her outer clothes and revealed the full combat armor underneath. She pulled her sword from the hidden compartment where she had kept it hidden since they boarded the ship. She looked at Jake with eyes that were no longer sad. They were the eyes of a warrior. They were the eyes of a commander. "Stay behind me," she said. "No matter what happens, you stay alive. You have to survive. You have to tell them the truth about me. You have to tell them about you have to make my people understood." "I will not leave you," Jake said. "You will do as I command," said, "because I am still your commander even now." The ship shook with impact. An explosion filled the air. Alarms screamed all around them. The war had come to find them. And Jake Monroe knew that everything had just changed. Jake did not respond. He just watched as everything he had known disappeared behind them and a new future came into view. "I am," she said, "and you have just changed everything, Jake Monroe." She sat down on a metal container and stared at the ground. Jake sat across from her. Neither of them spoke for a long time. Outside the cargo bay, alarms still rang through the station. The guards were still searching, but in this small dark space there was only silence. Jake knew his life would never be the same. He had made a choice, and that choice would have consequences. But as he looked at this strange warrior woman who had just won her fight for freedom, he felt something he had not felt in years. He felt hope.